few basic concepts to understand how Aurora supports Gen AI's journey. So, as we all know, generative AI is taking the industry by storm. And one of the most important aspects of any Gen AI solution is use cases. So, to showcase what all use cases are possible, today we are starting with we have created a demo of a bookstore. So it's kind of a sample data which we have generated to help you understand what use cases can be possible for a bookstore company. So this is we call this Bob's Bookstore, and we'll quickly see what do they do. So it's a online book sales and it's a online e-commerce company. And they have built their application in .NET and Microsoft SQL. One of their major challenge they were facing was to reduce the cost of licensing, as well as to enable their end users to interact with a bot to help them answer questions, discover new books, and also generate a lot of content. Now, how does Aurora help do that? Is by creating something called as vector embeddings. Just a brief 101, what is vector embeddings? So vector embeddings have become very popular these days because what it actually does, it converts a text into numerical numbers, and which quickly helps customers to translate the data in the database and allows the machine learning models to train. This helps you are actively updating databases to quickly generate a training data set for all the LLM models or machine learning models out there. And you really don't have to export data out of database and create files for your machine learning teams to start processing. They can directly query your database to start working on the data for training. So what we are looking here is how do embedding models get trained on a vector database, and when they are querying for a particular use case, they can quickly understand what is the relationship between the question asked and the output which needs to be generated from a real-time perspective. And you really don't have to keep on exporting data into multiple storages, so your machine learning team can go ahead and train them. What we are going to demo today is a very basic architecture here. We have taken a couple of book descriptions as PDF files, as well as we have all our books for Bob Bookstore in the Aurora DB, and then we are using Kendra OpenSearch to index them for search, as well as we have created vector embeddings inside Aurora, which you will see briefly how that has trained our models for various use cases for Amazon Lex, which is a bot, to communicate with the client. So with that, let me just switch my screens to help you understand what are the different use cases we are talking about, right? So we have use cases where customers want to generate product descriptions and understand how they can efficiently answer these questions using this bot. So I'm just going to use some of the prompts which I have already listed, which makes it easy. So this is a bot which has been trained on the bookstore database, and as soon as I provide an input saying that generate a book description for a book called as Attack on Titan Volume 13, and we can see this particular book. I'm sorry. In the Bob Bookstore. So this is the actual website which is running, as you can see. And based on the data which we have already in the database, this particular Gen AI bot is now generating data, which will make which will bring a lot of ease for the content company, their marketing teams, as well as their product description teams to generate content to quickly update in their email campaigns, to update on the website. So this gives a very quick and easy way to generate content from your database, which is trained on your database. Let's take another look at, can we personalize this data targeting personas. So in this particular case, I am saying, let's generate a content for a millennial crowd uh, for top 5 books available, which are similar to a antiques roadkill, trash and treasures book. So what it can do is it will actually go and understand what are the different books similar to this book, these 2 books, if these are the 2 books I like, and generate a content which will explain what are the top 5 books I should be reading, with a brief description, helping somebody to get context of what is that book about, and if that is something what I would like to read. So it's a great place to also recommend books to end users. So how it is doing all of this, we will briefly see what runs behind the scene. I have a couple of things open in my second screen. But before that, I would also want to cover one more use case before we jump there, is now your marketing teams, or most of the marketing teams, want to take data from your databases and quickly generate email campaigns, and want to understand what can really get sold faster, which will improve your top line. So this is an example where we can actually ask the bot to generate email campaigns for a persona here, which is the millennial crowd, and pitching 5 books similar to these top 2 books, which we saw very interesting. And it will go out and generate a complete email, which can be descriptive, explaining what the style of these books are. So these 2 books are mystery, nostalgic, immersive storytelling, which will quickly align to the crowd who is already reading these books, and will start pitching other books in your inventory. Now, in this example, we have books, but quite literally, it can be different products which your team might be trying to sell over email campaigns. And so there are the possibilities of generating content, including text and image, are immensely powerful when we deal with GenAI. Now, let's look what is actually happening behind the scene. What we really have is this particular database where we have all the books. So if I select from the books table, we have all the books here with all the details. And here itself, we are actually creating vector embeddings for those books. So when the bot is trying to find out similar books, when the bot is trying to generate content based on the description, the bot has all the required embeddings available in the database. So as soon as the inventory gets updated, these vector embeddings are updated, and your model has the latest information. This can work similar with reviews on the book. This can be really real-time updated with every new table which you are trying to build in the book. The other use case we have also done is we have taken actually the documents of this book and converted those documents, which are PDF files, into vector embeddings, which is now helping the bot to also understand what that book is, to create a very personalized message. So I will jump into the Sagemaker model, which looks like, I don't want to take a lot of time, but just to explain you briefly how easy it has become today to quickly build a model with the database, and then search the relevant data. So here, in this particular example, I am literally connecting to the database, selecting the vector embeddings, and providing a result of what it would. So if I'm saying, suggest me some New York Times bestseller books from the database, I'm literally going and selecting the data from my database, providing those vectors to my model, and that model will start generating the content based on the current, the current new updated books which are updated in the database, and start responding to our question, end user's question, right? Pretty straightforward, completely fully managed model in SageMaker running with your Postgres database. So this is what we see as a power of using GenAI with Postgres, and helping you quickly update your data with vector embeddings for your teams to quickly start answering. So this is the motivation behind why we are trying to help customers adopt Postgres Aurora. In the session today, Nandan will be diving deep into why why migrations are complicated, and how we use automations to help you really adapt these advancements in technology quite quickly and without taking a lot of risk, technically reducing a lot of challenges which you might have from the application and database perspective. So we'll be continuing the same example of Bob Bookstore, which we just saw, this website, which is running on .NET and MS SQL, how we actually translate the application to support Postgres, as well as how we have migrated data, considering a lot of factors which are involved in every migration story.